everybody, and welcome to another episode of Parmajohn. Today, we're going to be making lasagna, a special lasagna. I call it Lasagna Verde. It's a spinach lasagna that my mother made, and it's a tremendous recipe. It comes from Bologna, Italy. It's one of the best tasting foods you're ever going to have. We're going to make it with a bolognese sauce and a bechamel sauce. It's going to be excellent. And now let me introduce you to these fine ingredients. Okay, we're going to start by having 2 carrots and 2 celeries cut up. Now I want you to cut it in small pieces, very, very small pieces. Then I have about 4 ounces of pancetta, 1 onion, about a cup of red wine, and I have 1.5 pounds of veal and beef. This is the making of the bolognese sauce that's going to be with this wonderful lasagna verde.
You know, winds are picking up. The snow's about 14 inches with another 10 more to go. I hope that this lasagna verde gets good. There's nothing better than making lasagna verde on a snowy day.
I love being in the kitchen next to a hot oven. It's nasty outside. Okay, so we're gonna start with 4 ounces of the pancetta. Okay, we want the pancetta. It's Italian bacon, so that's gonna give a nice taste to the bolognese sauce. So let that go down, and you'll see it. It'll start to get a little golden in color, and then we'll add the onions and the carrots and the celery. The pancetta is starting to get a little golden in color. It's popping. Gotta be careful when that pops. When that oil pops, it can oh! It just got me. It can hurt. All right, so now, all right, so now we add the carrots and the celery. We want it on the medium heat. Okay. And then we add the onions. I love that sound. Don't you just love that sizzling sound? Mix that in. We want it to get nice and soft and translucent. We're going to put a little salt and a little pepper. All right. There you go. So you see now it's starting to get a little translucent. The carrots and celery and the onions are getting a little soft. That's when you know it's ready. So on a medium heat, I say this has to sit for about 10 minutes. And what I do sometimes, you don't have to do it, is I add an anchovy in there. It has a nice salty taste. Okay, and you won't even feel it. It'll just melt away, and it doesn't have a fish taste. It just gives it a nice salty taste. So my celery, carrots, and onions seems like it's nice and soft now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the meat in. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to brown the meat. Okay. Starting to brown. And then what we do is, while that's starting to brown, we're going to put the red wine. That makes beautiful flavor right there. Okay? So let the meat brown, let the wine reduce, and once that's reduced, we're going to add the tomato sauce. All right, you see that meat is browning up now. That's about done. And now we add about 28 ounces of tomato puree. Okay, I don't do the chunks of tomato in this bolognese sauce. Mix that in. All right, and then what we do is we're gonna let that sit for 1 hour on medium-low heat with the cover on. We'll see you in about 45 minutes to an hour. Ah, those snowy days. What memories I had when I was a little boy. I always remember the mailman. I used to feel bad for the mailman. His name was Skip. Not because he used to walk into the snow and deliver from house to house in the freezing cold, but for the amount of times me and my friends pelted him with snowballs. Skip was not a happy camper on days like this. All right, so we have our bolognese sauce still cooking on low heat. Another 25 minutes, that should be ready. Now with this lasagna, I'm gonna make a bechamel sauce. It's a cream sauce that you'll see how I incorporate it in this lasagna. This is what makes it so outstanding. So what I did was I melted 4 tablespoons of butter. All right, I'm gonna take about 1.5 cups of flour and whisk that in, okay? Now you'll see it's getting all clumpy. And again, I have this on low heat. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get nice milk, not skim milk. Okay, we want whole milk, and we're gonna put a little bit in there at a time. Just so I want you to see what the consistency is gonna look like. Now you see how it's clumping into this? We don't want that, we want it more of a paste. So that means I have to put a little bit more milk. All right, I'm gonna add another 1/2 cup of flour. So it's gonna be a total of about 2 cups. Incorporate that. Okay, remember, we don't want it like this. We want this to be creamy. All right? Our bechamel is getting, you have to keep moving it around. We don't want clumps. Okay? And we want this under low heat. This is a great sauce to add to the lasagna. You'll see how it looks once I incorporate everything. All right, we're gonna add a little salt. And then I'm gonna go with a teaspoon of nutmeg. Okay, just keep mixing it around. It's a process, okay? You don't really want clumps in this. So on the low heat, you have to keep moving it. Always keep moving it. And then what we're gonna do at the end is also add the zest of 1 lemon. Okay, this is the consistency that I'm looking for. Exactly what I said, almost like a little thicker than like pancake batter. And then we're gonna put the zest, the lemon zest of 1 lemon. Gives nice freshness to this recipe. I'm telling you, you follow this, you do this the way I present it, it's gonna be one of the best tasting foods you ever had. This recipe from Bologna, Italy. It's fantastic. Okay, so now what I did earlier was I made fresh pasta, right? And I added some spinach to the pasta. I did this earlier. You could take a look at my pasta episode for how to make it. But really, with this dish, if you don't want to go and make the fresh pasta, you can use the oven-ready lasagna from Barilla. Okay, this works excellent as well. I prefer the homemade, but that's because I'm spoiled from Mama Granelli. She makes so good the lasagna, so good. But if you don't want to do that, get this. It works great. Get about 2 or 3 boxes. All right, so we have everything here. The beautiful bolognese sauce. Look at that consistency. If you could smell what I'm smelling now, you'd be blown away. I have the bechamel sauce, and again, my fresh pasta with spinach. And remember, you can use the oven-baked one from Barilla as well. All right, so first what I'm gonna do is take some of the bechamel sauce and just coat the bottom of it. All right, so we just go like this. Don't forget to add the lemon zest to that sauce also. All right. All right, now we just layer the lasagna like this. I'll rip it up a little bit right there. And now we take the bolognese sauce. And then we take the bechamel and we just hit it in a few spots. Okay, now we do another layer. This fresh pasta is really, it's a very light dish as well. When you buy the box pasta, it's good, but to me, it's a little bit more heavier. This is a lot lighter, and just, there's nothing like homemade pasta, right? Okay, we'll hit that again. What I do, also I have some half Parmesan and half Romano. All right, so the last layer, we put a little bit of the, we top it off with the bolognese sauce and the bechamel sauce, and then I want a nice crust on top of this, okay? So I'm gonna put a nice coating of half Parmigiano, half Romano cheese on that. We're gonna put that in a 425-degree oven for about 35 minutes, and then we'll check it out. Ooh, and there it is. Baked to perfection. A little crust on top, and now we're gonna cut it up and plate it. And what I like to do also is I like to just drizzle a little bit of olive oil on the top. Gives it that nice glazed look. And now we'll give it a try. Beautiful lasagna. The bechamel with the bolognese sauce. Fantastic. If you make this recipe the way I present it, it's excellent. And keep in mind, everybody, that it's important for you to subscribe to my channel so you get all the other shows and all the future shows. Thank you very much for cooking with Parmajohn.